Welcome to the Daily Smash for Tuesday, September 12th, 2023. I'm Rick.
I'm Kelly.
I'm wearing my gangrene Mark Sanchez Jets jersey in honor of the New York Jets. And we're going to an event tonight, Monday night. You see what it says?
Dirty Sanchez. Who put dirty on there?
I lost a bet, and the guy got to write dirty on my Sanchez jersey. It was down in Miami.
Are you a big fan?
I've been a Jets fan for 30 years plus, 30 plus years, 35 years I've been a Jets fan. And for the most part, they sucked.
Really? Like the Arizona Cardinals? Well, the Arizona Cardinals sucked
They were
always
bad.
but then they got good for a little bit.
Well, so I'm wearing this before the Monday Night Football game against the Bills. And my experience has been when I do things like this, my team usually loses. So not saying I have any impact on the game. But it's like, superstition and...
Well, my top is Anne Fontaine, and it's about 15 years old.
Well, we're going to an event tonight, and Mark Sanchez is supposed to be a guest bartender. So I'm going to insert some video, if we actually make it, and he's there. And I'm going to wear this jersey, and I want to see if he'll get it, if he thinks it's funny, and maybe he'll even sign it for me.
We met before. I was a Fox News thing. I met in a supermarket, working a red carpet or something. Remember that?
Subscribe now here on YouTube if you haven't already, please. We are crushing it, and we want to crush it more. And don't forget about Iylia wine. So many people have written us and said that they bought Iylia wine and they love it.
I know. Thank you so much for that, by the way. Thank you.
Thanks for supporting our sponsor. You can get yours at 20% off using the discount code RickandKelly20 at Iylia.com for the first 2 bottles. And then after that, if you want 3 or more, it's free shipping. And it's already very fairly priced, and it's delivered right to your door, and it's awesome. So thank you for getting your Iylia, and thank you for supporting our show. We flew back from New York early Monday morning. We were going to try and sleep for a few hours at our house in West Hampton.
We couldn't.
So basically, we were up all night. We left the house just before 2 a.m., to drive to JFK, which is just over an hour, return the truck, get on the air train with all of our luggage, get to the terminal, then get to the gate, and there was no lounge, and we just sat there. No bars open or anywhere to sit down and eat. And we just sat there and waited for our flight like everybody else, whatever, no big deal.
Right.
But then once we got on the plane, it was JetBlue Mint, lay flat seats. I think both of us were asleep within 5 minutes. And now it's 5 o'clock in the morning.
But the food on that JetBlue is fantastic. But I didn't eat really. I ate half a yogurt and half blueberries. I didn't have the avocado toast.
You got the avocado toast, blueberries, and Greek yogurt.
Right. And I gave you half my Greek yogurt.
She kept spooning it into my mouth. Yours came first.
Because it was an awkward time to eat. It was like 5 o'clock in the morning, and I don't usually eat until noon. So I wasn't really hungry.
I had French toast, a frittata, and the blueberries. French toast was awesome. But then I went right back to sleep, and both of us slept the whole flight. When we landed, went straight to Bagshaven, and I did a live shot on my phone for Newsmax about 9/11, because Monday, 9/11. And did a live shot from the baggage claim. Then we went to our Elizabeth storage, her warehouse.
Yeah, and it was so interesting because I was getting the bags. He was doing a live shot in the airport. And if anybody knows LAX, it takes forever to get baggage. It takes forever. So there was a lady and her mother sitting next to me, and her mom is from North India, because I asked her if she speaks Punjabi. She's like, oh, you know about that? And I'm like, yeah, I have a lot of Indian friends. And her mom looked like she was maybe 60 years old. And she said she cooks and she gardens. And I'm like, that was like that show that we watched, The Blue Zone, How to Live to Be 100 Years Old. And I was keeping moving. I I love that show. If you guys
Yeah.
haven't seen that.
But-
the
but-
guy that's the commentator of it is annoying, but
The voice. You didn't like his voice.
I didn't like his voice.
But it was an interesting series about 5 or 6 places on Earth where people, the most people live to be 100 or more.
And it all comes down to the same thing: eating vegetables, working out, doing some kind of light exercise, moving, not being sedentary, and laughing a lot,
Oh.
and not being alone.
Yeah. But diet's very important.
Diet.
And Okinawa was one of the top places.
Like Point Loma, which is here by San Diego.
Uh-huh.
It's a very religious community that's like vegetarian. Mm-hmm. They live to be over.
Does that mean if you move there, you're going to live to be 100?
I don't want to live to be 100. Mom, do you want to live to be 100?
God, no.
My mom's aunt is. How old is Auntie Duty? 102? How old is your mom?
My mom died at 93. My aunt is 102.
102, your aunt. Does it feel good to be home?
Oh my God, yes.
Thank you, Bobby.
Thank you, Mom.
For running the ship here while we were gone. She's like, I'm a hawk. I got my eye on everything.
You got your eye on Julie?
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't miss anything. I don't miss much.
Nothing going past me.
But one of the reasons I brought up the whole thing going to Elizabeth's place is because we never stop. We have this new truck straight from LAX to this warehouse where we then loaded up we made 3 trips fully loading the truck with boxes and stuff because she needs the space now for something else.
Elizabeth
Vargas.
Vargas has this warehouse that's like 6,000 square feet. And
Huge.
She's like, I asked him like, hey, are you, because it looked like nobody was using it, but now I guess like her vodka line is just crushing it. So congratulations to Elizabeth Vargas.
And thank you for letting us use your storage facility.
Yeah.
Now our boxes are in our garage and we got to go through it all. Mm-hmm. Halloween decorations, Christmas decorations.
I'm glad that we went and took all of it out.
Well, I am too because I have a bunch of boxes of files that I need to go through.
Yeah.
In any event, it is good to be home. We got a lot of comments. One of them, well, a lot of them were about the string lights that I put up over the pool in the Hamptons. And I
don't know why we didn't think that was dangerous.
Well,
thank God we have people like this to tell us.
So,
because we're obviously
not that bright.
But you, yeah, as a light bulb. But you, Rick, did a lot of research on that.
Well, just for historical perspective, those lights we purchased in Sonoma for our wedding, and we strung them in the backyard of this home we rented for our wedding, the night of the Friday night dinner and the ceremony, and then we brought them to our house in Newport Beach, the one we were renting before, and I put them up over the pool.
Right.
And they were there for 3 years over that pool, and they looked awesome, and they never fell in the pool. Actually, one time one string might have gone in the pool, but there was never an issue. No one got electrocuted. So we're at the house in Hampton. Like, maybe we should get some string lights. We got some and first put them around just one end of the pool, like down by the cabana. And then you were like, well, why don't we go like zip, zip, zip over the pool? So we went and got more. And then I see all these comments like, you shouldn't have lights over the pool. Someone's going to get electrocuted. It's really dangerous. And so I'm like, this is ridiculous.
I was like, that's probably true. I mean, like, you know, when you're curling your hair or whatever, you're like, don't ever put it by a bathtub.
Right.
Like,
because electricity and water don't mix. So that's like a basic tenet, right? So I looked it up, and I looked at more than one source, more than one article, and basically what I learned is, no, you're not supposed to put lights over a pool. It's not a good idea because bad things could happen when you mix water and electricity. That's not to say that something would happen. And in our defense, it is a GFI plug, a grounded plug, GFI, where this light string originates, and it's supposed to shut off if something like that were to happen. So it's an automatic safety.
Okay.
That's one thing.
GFI is like with a little button?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's plugged into an outdoor GFI protected plug. So theoretically, if a light were
I'm
going.
sorry, I don't care how if it's theoretic or not, and it's a GFI. You have something right here.
Idea?
You know, I'm the one who always has stuff in my teeth.
Yeah. But the other piece of this is we did it for show, for photos, to show the house, for sale. No one's going to be, most likely, no one's going to be swimming in that pool until it gets closed for the winter. And if someone buys it, when someone buys it, it'll be very simple to take the lights down.
I don't know why the three of us didn't think that would be dangerous.
Well, what I was originally going to do was string them around the edge.
That's what I wanted to do. And you're like, no, I want to do it.
Well,
I like the way you had it before. Like,
that's what we'll do
next time.
if and when we go back out there and reset the lights. That's what we're going to do. We're going to go around the perimeter of the pool, and no one's going to get hurt.
So, remember I told you you have a nightmare neighbors, right? In Palm Desert, right? Nightmare neighbors. Well, I have this lady, she's from Vancouver. She buys rental properties, and she bought the house next door to us for 1.8.
1.8 million for
And
the
I
house
became
right next door.
friendly with her because she rents out the house too.
Mm-hmm.
And she's had the nosy neighbors, which I love. Noel across the street, I'm glad he's nosy, the guy. But the other ones, they don't like short-term rentals.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So, because Noel watches over our house.
Thank you, Noel.
We love him very much.
Yeah. Great neighbor.
Great neighbor. But the one next to him, that Kimberly McFarland, she's the worst. And then that Jeff, that G, which starts with a G, I don't know. First of all, if your name Geoff, Jeff.
He calls the cops on us a lot.
He calls the cops on us all the time.
I'm sure we deserve it.
So I get a call from Monica, my next door neighbor, and she's like, are you having problems with your neighbors? I'm like, well, not yet. I mean,
Not lately.
Not lately, you know, because we haven't been there. And she's like, I'm at my own house, and code enforcement comes to my house. They knock on my door, and they go, are you a renter? And she's like, what would they say? Are you a renter?
Yeah, we got a complaint that there was a short-term renter in here.
She's like, no, I'm the owner.
She owns the house.
She's like, I own the house.
And the cop, they dress like cops, the code enforcement, and they want to know who she is and what she's doing there.
Third time that code enforcement has gone to her house wondering if it's short-term renters in there.
Yeah.
And she's like, I can't take these neighbors. So she put the house on the market for 2.5. I want to go bury a St. Joseph's next to her house.
$2.58 million for the house next door. If she sells it for north of $2 million, babe, we
crushed it.
We really crushed it because our
I
house
hope
is
she does.
better, nicer finishes inside, better backyard, more stuff. We have a pickleball court, and we have room for. She has a garage.
She has a garage. She has a casita.
But her casita, that's her third bedroom. We already have 3 bedrooms. We can add a 2-bedroom, 2-bath casita. We'll have 5 bedrooms and 5 baths right next door with a 2.5-car garage. That's if we build it. Even if we don't, we have 3 bedrooms, 3 baths, and a pickleball court, and a nicer pool, and a fire pit, and an outdoor bar and grill. It's really nice. I mean, if she sells hers for 2.5, ours is worth easy that much.
Yeah.
So,
I hope to God she does.
Thank you.
Please,
good luck.
Knock on wood here.
You wanted to address the criticism of your PTSD comment on Monday's show. Because I said I definitely have PTSD from 9/11, and Kelly said I have it too from my ex-husband.
I wasn't comparing or contrasting that devastation. I was giving, it was sarcastic. Sorry, I know a lot of people aren't that bright understanding sarcasm. And I do have PTSD from that, okay? I'm sorry, I do.
People get PTSD from a lot of different random things.
Yeah.
And it's certainly
I wasn't saying it was exactly like that. I mean,
so then
it's so funny how you can get so many people that think, think or take things literally, or like I'm comparing and contrasting.
Right. Your broken marriage to 9/11.
Oh my God.
That's not what she was doing. But thank you for that.
That's all what I was doing. But I love how people try to make it look like I did. And then I'm talking about the Jeff was like, I don't want to get involved. They're like, well, you did get yourself involved. I don't understand what you're doing. You did get yourself.
With the Jeff Lewis, Heather McDonald, Crystal situation.
I got myself involved because I wrote something. I'll explain it to you now on Jeff Lewis show on Thursday. Okay?
Yeah, we're going to be on Jeff's show on Thursday.
I don't want to get involved anymore, but I'm already in it already.
But some people have...
You don't want to, but I did, okay? Sorry.
And some people criticized me and us for profiting off of that whole situation by gaining patrons and talking
What do you
about
think
it.
Heather McDonald does? She, and the clout chasers, that's what she does. Heather McDonald does that for her podcast. She profits on talking about gossip. Mm-hmm. Sorry.
That's why it's called Juicy Scoop.
That's why it's called Juicy Scoop.
Yeah.
We profited on something that happened with us. It's not like we're talking about somebody, which we do anyways, because we call it In the News. That's what we are.
Yeah.
That's our podcast. I'm sorry. We make money doing this way.
This is how we make a living.
This is how we make a living.
We're making a living doing this, and the more people who sign up, thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
The more we can focus on this, our shows, YouTube, Patreon.
This is what you listen, right?
The Rick and Kelly Show on Patreon.
Like you're damned if you do, and you're damned if you don't.
I mean, we did gain hundreds and hundreds of new subscribers in the last few days, and that's awesome. And we want you to keep signing up because we're delivering, I think, a terrific
We're very
product.
appreciative and very, 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 very. But gosh,
Yes.
some of these comments. Ooh.
Well, as you and I have discussed many times, you will never please everyone,
Nope.
and someone will always find fault with anything we do.
Right. Always.
But so we just keep doing what we do.
Exactly.
And there was
And
something
we keep trucking.
we were going to talk about this week on Patreon. One of the things I wanted to talk about on Patreon this week was the whole lawsuit that was filed against Tamara and Shannon and Vicky.
Heather?
No, the one when you were supposed to be on the... Yeah, was that Heather's podcast?
So
We're going to talk about it on Patreon.
Okay. So I'm just going to give him a little heads up.
Yeah.
So I was supposed to go on Heather McDonald's podcast. It was like an improv thing, and she wanted me to do it. And I said, I know I had to go out of town. There was something that happened, and
This was years ago, right?
years ago. And I'm like, you know what? I have to go out of town. I can't do this. And she's like, okay, well, I'll ask Tamara and Shannon. So she asked Tamara and Shannon, and all three of them ended up getting sued by Jim Bellino. Did you know about that?
Yeah, because we talked about it, but I didn't realize. So we're gonna tell the whole story.
And then I'm gonna tell you how Tamara 2 months ago made Heather go in tears.
Oh.
In tears.
The other thing we're going to talk about on Patreon this week, we're going to show the video from Ramona's house where we're poolside and she's dancing.
Her house, have you guys seen New York Housewives? Her house doesn't give it justice on that show than it is in real life. It's huge.
Really beautiful home. And we're going to show you some stuff, the really fun stuff we did over the weekend. Had a great time in Hampton, did we not?
Yes, I had a great time in New York. Mm-hmm. I had a great time in the Hamptons.
Yep.
I mean, it's really, really fun over there. I had a great time. And I really like it in West Hampton because you're closer to the city. That whole little area, they call it the poor people Hamptons, but it's beautiful. I mean,
the downtown is really nice.
The downtown has got the best food, shopping. It's so cute.
The beaches are beautiful. So my house is going on the market this week. It's going to be listed by Douglas Elliman. My broker is Courtney Polero. And they took photos today. She said it turned out great. We did a lot of sprucing up there. And we buried the St. Joseph's in the yard. So I'm confident that we're going to...
Sell it.
Yeah.
So we have to do a 1031 exchange. So
right.
Should we do a 1031 exchange in San Diego where there's high renters here in Newport Beach? Because Jolie's going to... And then because we can't live in it for a couple more years.
Right, we'd have to rent it out. We could do...
Or Florida.
Lake Arrowhead is an option.
And then you have like 49 days to do it. What kind of BS is that?
I don't know why you have to do it in a month and a half. You have to find the next property.
Yeah.
It's not that easy.
No.
And like you said, we have a lot of options. We're going to have to...
Start looking.
As soon as we get an offer, that's our cue. We're going to have to find another
Hustle.
place.
Like 49 days?
I think it's 45 days, but then one of our broker friends said you can stretch it to 6 months. And I don't know how you do that, but there's a way, apparently.
To stretch it?
I think so. That's what he said.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we have a Monday Night Football party to get to, so In the news now,
In the news.
McDonald's is preparing to scrap self-serve soda fountains because of theft and hygiene concerns.
Well, I just can tell you this. That's so funny that he just mentioned that, because I was at Chick-fil-A and I love those diet lemonades. I love them. Like, that was diet lemon. Oh, I live off those things. And there's a line there. You never not go into Chick-fil-A during lunchtime and there's not a huge line.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, if you want to get there's free refills, but you have to take off the lid, and you have to wait there like do.
While the guy fills it for you.
Well, the guy fills it for you. I'm like, why don't they just have one of those self-serves where I can just do it myself?
Well, apparently because of hygiene issues after the whole
But the guy
pandemic
that's doing
thing,
it is
he put
touching
his
everything.
germs on your cup.
Right.
Everybody has germs on their hands, right? So he took your cup and he filled it up and he handed it back to you. Now you're touching what he touched.
And he's touching a million things.
But I guess people are using these machines and they're stealing soda from the machines, and so
Well, stealing seems to be a theme across everything.
the fast food giant McDonald's plans to phase out the do-it-yourself stations, eliminating them entirely over the next decade, as franchise owners cite hygiene, theft, and consumer eating habits. Because apparently fewer people are actually eating in the restaurant, so it's not as practical. They don't need it as much. But also they're concerned about them being dirty and people doing whatever they're doing over there. And they're going to have their...
Oh, really? You don't think water fountains are disgusting? Like at the gym?
They're gonna have a crew pour situation where the crew that works there is going to take your drink and pour it for you like they do at Chick-fil-A. They're going to pour your drink for you. But some of these places, I don't know. They're going to phase them out over time. So you might still be able to refill your drink cup at McDonald's, but sometime over the next 10 years...
So we went to McDonald's, like a month ago, and I didn't eat all day, and I go, hey, Rick, let's go get a double quarter pounder and split it with the fries and a Coke.
Yeah.
And I haven't had a quarter pounder in
Quarter pounder with cheese.
but they're so darn good. And we get there, and Rick goes, guess how much that quarter pounder meal was?
The
I
meal?
go, I don't know. Like, I haven't been to McDonald's in a long time. Since I only go to McDonald's when I'm in Europe or like in Asia. I never really go to McDonald's here. And I go, how much? Rick goes, $16 for one quarter pounder cheeseburger, fries, and a Diet Coke.
Yeah.
I was shocked.
Yeah. The value meal, I didn't think it was
There was
this
no
great
value.
No. And then Shoshana goes, well, you have to get the dollar menu. You have to get the dollar deal.
There's
I
no
guess
dollar
the
anymore,
menu-
is it?
I didn't see
It's
that.
like the dollar. It's like the dollar store. There's no dollar at the dollar store.
It's $1.29 now.
$1.69. Inflation.
We have much more for you tomorrow. We appreciate your support here on YouTube. Again, go ahead.
Did
and
your
hit that
live shot
subscribe
on
button.
Newsmax go through?
Yes. So I've been trying to tweak the way I do live shots for Newsmax. We record most of our shows now on the iPhone 14 Max because it's an amazing picture, and we have a wireless microphone system that works great. And I tried using earpieces, my hearing aids, to be honest. They were my hearing aids, which are Bluetooth linked to the phone, and then this wireless microphone system. And I thought, okay, now I figured it out. I can hear them perfectly in my hearing aids, and the microphone will sound great because we've already tested that. Well, I'm set up for this thing. They check me in on Zoom, and there's no sound. I can't hear the engineers, and I can't hear the anchors. So now I'm trying to, in the airport with minutes, the clock ticking to my live shot, trying to fix it. Mm-hmm. First thing I did was I turned off the hearing aids, put those away, still couldn't hear it, had to, end the Zoom, recall, try it again, and in the end, the microphone, I couldn't use the microphone either. I wound up ditching the microphones, ditching the earpieces, and just trying to hear it through the phone, and it was, and they didn't crank it up on their end, so it was really soft.
Right.
So the anchor's speaking, she's introducing me and asking me a question, it sounds like this. Rick Leventhal was there at 9/11, and he's now joining us. And that's what my hearing's bad, but this wasn't even like what I normally get over the phone.
How did it
So
go?
I'm leaning into the phone like this, trying to hear the question, and I saw on the air, on the screen, like they had a shot of my face, like
Yeah.
leaning in. So then they cut to just like a full screen of 9/11 images.
Mm-hmm.
And then they came back to me once I backed away from the camera.
You had something that you wanted to show yesterday that you didn't put in the show, and you said, "Oh, I'm going to put it in today." What was that?
Was it 9/11 related, or was it something totally
It
different?
was something totally different.
It might have been the ping pong match I had with Rich Balmer in West Hampton. I recorded that. I was going to show it because it was a crazy, great game of ping pong.
Because Rich always, I thought it was something else.
It could have been something
It was something else.
Well, for whatever I forgot today and whatever I forgot yesterday, we're going to try and remember to put in tomorrow's show. How about that?
Yeah.
In the end, the Newsmax hit I thought was okay. It was good. I mean, I think it was good. I was very clear on my thoughts about this day, that day. Well, it is technically still Monday, 9/11. And they seemed pleased with the live shot.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh, good. That's great.
So, yeah. We hope that you had a safe 9/11.
I know, and thank you guys so much for your comments and stuff. I mean, I heard there was this one comment in there that just broke my heart. She said that she lost her husband, died 4 months. I mean, I was crying when I read it. Like, oh my gosh. She said, hold each other tight, give us loves, and just,
Yeah.
do that with your family
Appreciate
too.
what you have.
Sometimes you just need reminders like that. So thank you. Those are nice comments.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you. Bye. Have a smash-tastic day.
And go Jets.